We have a question from Allison, and Allison says, how do you quickly filter out leads that aren't right for your business if you don't have a designated salesperson yet? Background: recently I had a lead that I felt wasn't right for my company that he used 40 minutes of my time. When he first sent me an email with all of his business information, it seemed like a good lead to begin with. He ended up saying he couldn't afford to pay for services, but he would pay me with a percentage of sales. His product was promising, but he as an owner did not seem like a fit for my company. He seemed like a possible nightmare client, and I'm trying to filter out those types of clients before we enter into a working relationship. I have a full-service digital marketing agency passionate about using digital marketing strategies and creative content to help businesses stand out from their competition, generate more sales, and gain brand awareness. Okay, well, this is part of the sales process, Allison, and it sounds to me like all the work you're doing, like you've got a great business and you've got a great service that you provide to clients. I don't know why you wouldn't have a salesperson, or I don't know why you wouldn't be doing more sales and letting a team do all the work for you. One of those two things needs to happen, but you need a full-time salesperson. Whether it's you or somebody else, you are limiting your growth by not getting a salesperson. I would 100% immediately, and I know you can afford it, it's $500 a month. You can hire Tom Black, our sales coach here in AO, and he will help you grow this business. That is such a no-brainer. I cannot even begin to tell you. Now, to answer your question, this is just part of sales. You know, if you were a salesperson, you'd be like, man, that's just part of sales. Part of sales is some people are going to waste your time. But it's not a waste of time. It's a numbers game. And Tom talks about this in the Pro Code Sales online training. You know, the only way to make more money is to see more people. You got to see more people to sell more people. Not everybody's going to be perfectly aligned and perfectly like, hey, this is a perfect client and I'm going to close every deal. So this is just one of those circumstances where somebody was interested in your services, got a quote, couldn't afford it, and that's part of sales. Not everybody's going to buy. And so that's just part of sales. To the back end of your question, listen, every small business owner like myself would love to work with a digital marketing agency and have them do all of our marketing for us and make us money and take a percentage of a commission. Everybody would love that. Well, that's why they should be hiring a marketing person and a salesperson to do that stuff for them. And they might be able to find some freelancers that would do that are just starting off. And that's the difference between running agency and there are some companies that will say, I believe in this product or service enough that we will take a percentage of sales. I was talking to one of my friends that did that. He runs an agency that does that. And the company that hired him ended up trying to get out of the contract, and they ended up getting into a lawsuit because the guy had a product that my friend runs an agency, and he knew that he was going to help this guy make millions of sales, not millions of dollars, millions of sales, which was tens of millions of dollars. And the guy just didn't have the money to start out. So they worked out an arrangement that my friend's company would take a 20% commission on the top line revenue that was brought in. That's how much the guy didn't realize what he was negotiating. So my buddy's like, deal. Put together an ironclad, serious contract. And my buddy went out there and started doing digital marketing and online advertising for this guy. And like literally within 6 months, they had done like $10 million in annual sales. $10 million. And they owed my buddy $2 million. $2 million. And my buddy was getting these monthly checks for the 6 months. And finally, after 6 months, the guy said, wait a second, I'm overpaying you. And my buddy's like, no, you told me you wanted me to take this on a commission only. And they ended up getting into a lawsuit. And my buddy ended up winning. But for those types of people, be careful what you ask for. And I don't think it's a bad idea that if you believe in somebody's product, as long as they've got the financial wherewithal and the numbers and you can protect yourself, I think an agency would make more money doing that than they would if they took a percentage of sales as opposed to a retainer. I think personally a lot of agencies sell themselves short because when a company gets big enough, they should basically have an in-house digital marketing team. It's only small businesses that probably need to use agencies because they can't afford the salaries of a person like yourself. Food for thought. But to answer your original question, The answer is welcome to sales. That is just part of sales. The only thing that you can do to speed up the process is to ask more qualifying questions. Qualifying questions to determine if somebody is an actual prospect. Somebody is a lead first. Then our job as a salesperson is to qualify them, to determine if they're a qualified lead or a non-qualified lead. If they're a non-qualified lead, we stop the sales process. If they're a qualified lead, we continue with the sales process. You might have some probing questions that you can establish before you end up spending 40 minutes with somebody to qualify them. The mistake that you made was you didn't qualify that prospect, that lead, and you ended up talking to them and spending all this time and maybe even doing a proposal for 40 minutes, when if you would have asked the right questions right off the bat, it might have taken you 5 minutes. Make sense? This is why you need Tom. If you spend $500 a month hiring Tom, he will double your business in the next 12 months. I have no doubt about it. Okay? Send me an email. I would love to get you on with Tom. Okay? Bye.